Hi everyone, we're back with the Startups in 60 Seconds series. I'm here with the co-founder and CEO of Vauban. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Remy. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Vauban, which is a growing company in the fintech space.
Great. What does Vauban do?
So we are, as we brand ourselves, a wealth containers platform. So what we call wealth containers or any asset holding legal entities. So what that means is that we are a platform that you could use to set up any sort of investment vehicles, even though as of today, we specialize in investment funds such as hedge funds, PE funds, and venture capital funds, and SPVs and co-investment vehicles.
Great.
Sorry, that was a lot of jargon.
No, that's okay. I presume there's not much competition, but do you have a USP?
Yeah, I mean, there is competition actually. That's so what our platform do, that's what you would typically go to your attorney, to your lawyer for. And then it would probably brief you with other service providers like administrators, auditors, accountants. So what I mean is that this is typically, and it's hard to realize if you've never done it, but a very, very daunting process. Like it takes months, it's a lot of paperwork. There are, work sales involved sometimes, FedEx. You have a lot of different providers who, all of them will ask you roughly the same things, but like for regulatory reason, they all ask you differently. So let's say our USP is that we make like an extremely daunting process very simple. I mean, I wouldn't say very simple because he's still launching a hedge fund. It's not something easy, but we make it much, much, much easier and very transparent and digital.
Good. When were you actually founded?
So we founded the company like 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, a little bit more than that, 2 years and 2 months ago, I think. Okay.
Did you have any co-founders at that point?
Yeah, so I created the company with someone called Remy Astie. So he's my best friend actually. It's pretty cool. We met in university and we had a company together in uni actually. Okay. We created the company together from day one.
Great. How much money have you raised so far?
So we've raised in total about £1 million.
And do you have another raise currently happening or about to happen? And if so, how much?
Yeah, so actually because of the whole COVID thing, so the interesting thing is that it didn't have any impact on our sales. And I can't really explain it. We have theories, but I'm not sure of any of them. But because, you would think we are really linked to the number of fundraising rounds of deals that are made, in private markets in general. And we, these are obviously down by all macro numbers since the COVID crisis happened. But nevertheless, we have actually even more people than before. Like the business is continuing to go through the crisis, which I'm very surprised about. But one impact it has on us that we can't neglect is that we're a venture capital backed company. And we were planning on closing our Series A in November this year. Okay. Like November, December. And obviously, we had advice from various people. And we also genuinely think that, it's going to be challenging just because there's less money available on the market. There are less VCs in the game, etc. So in order to push that well into 2021, we are raising a small convertible loan note with a cap. So a bridge round, essentially.
Okay. What's the most important KPI for the business and how are you benchmarking against that currently?
So the number one thing we track internally and that, we cheer up the team with, etc., is the number of what we call containers. So it's a reference with Docker sort of, but it's essentially the number of investment vehicles we have on the platform. So we track everything as one, whether they're a fund, they're an SPV, etc. But for us, that's the really important KPI. We could track others like the number of investors, the number of the amount of money that's been invested through the platform. But the number one we track is really the number of containers we have live at any point.
Can you tell us what that number is, or?
Yeah, so we recently reached 100 actually.
Oh, amazing.
So that's really nice. We have 100 like funds and SPVs live on the platform. So yeah, no, I'm super happy. It's
Excellent.
great.
Very good. Are you doing any hiring at present? And if so, what roles?
Yeah, so we postponed quite a few hires with the COVID crisis to see how it was playing out, etc. But as it looks, our business is not too affected. We're reopening some of this. So one of them is we looking for someone. Actually, we're struggling to find a proper job title for that role, but essentially, is someone we would call like a right hand. So it's someone to help us with, anything that's
Like a COO or a chief of staff or something different?
something like that, but they maybe not as senior. Like we need someone we can count on, but that can help us with, handling the bank accounts, the help liaise with the accounting firms,
Got it.
sometimes chase the clients, that sort of things. So I think it's a very interesting role because you would be really exposed to every part involved in running a business as a
Yeah.
business, and I think that's quite great, especially if it's someone that want to start a company later on. It provides great experience. The something else we're looking for is someone to do our marketing. So presently we have no full-time salespeople and no marketing person at all.
Okay.
And clearly, at some point it has to it has to change. So yeah, we'd be looking for someone to help us in marketing. So yeah, I think it really has to be someone that understands what we do, that understands the space, because if you have to write content, etc., it's very technical. And yeah, right now I would say that these are the two most urgent hires for the business.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much for your time. Remy Astie at Vauban.
Cool. Thanks, Kartik.